I'm sure by now you must have seen the news of how Hushpuppi was sentenced to 11 years in prison. But I was thinking about it. You see, black people, especially Nigerians, don't understand how what people like Hushpuppi did is going to affect your life and my life for the rest of our life. And in this video, I'm going to show you some things that will really make you to think twice, and probably you will start praying that people like Hushpuppi should never exist again among black people. You see, in August of 2021, one of the businesses I have stakes in wanted to get a few people to work with us. It is a movie business, so we are looking into recruiting and hiring a few people. So we run advert on Facebook, and when we run advert on Facebook, the instruction with those adverts was you should send us sample of like what you can do and add your phone number. Then I was responsible for checking through all these applicants, and while I was doing that, I came across a particular name that is strange. It's not a Nigerian name. So I played the video of what this particular person saying, and it happened to be an European woman. So I was like, oh, okay, we need actress, we need other people to work in different things. But why would this woman apply to work with us if she is an European? We are in Nigeria. So I developed interest in having conversation with her. Now, at this point, I needed to pay attention because I really want to show you our conversation. Yeah, so this woman sent a video which she titled, "You Understand?" Now, I did not know the meaning of that statement, so I replied yes. Then following it with the usual thing I sent to everybody, which is I have forwarded your video to our director and we will be waiting for his feedback. Then this woman replied, "Oh, it is not the best." I think she wanted to ask a question. It was no light. I just came back from work. My car broke down. So I replied her, "Understood." Then follow up with a question. "Did you check our new movie project on our channel?" Then this woman replied, "Yes, it is funny." And I replied, "Really? So realistic? And in which part of Lagos do you live?" Because I assume she lives in Lagos. I mean, if you are from Europe and you are in Nigeria, you are probably in Lagos. Then she replied me, "Oh, I am living in Bauchi." Oh, Bauchi State? At this point, I knew we might not be able to work with her. Now, this is where I'm going with this conversation. On 27th of August, that is like 1 week after I've been having conversation with her, she sent me this message. "So, you also are a scammer. That is terrible." I reply, of course, by asking for explanation. I think there is nothing else you want to know about the rest of the conversation because, of course, it was over. So I needed to think about this. Somebody applied to work for a business I have interest in, and I'm responsible for checking through maybe she can actually work with us. And without any fault of mine, she came up with the idea that I am a scammer. How terrible do you think that can be? Like, how painful do you think that can be? Sometimes I love to show my emotion, but I will not show it in this video because that particular time I think I cried. But come to think about it, do you really think I am a scammer?
He's guilty. Tell her you're guilty.
Unfortunately, the answer will be yes. I am a scammer by association. I am a scammer because I am a Nigerian. If you are a Nigerian, why do you think you are not a scammer? Because that is the identity your country has earned. I know some people will be angry. Oh, why do you think we are scammer? It is only few people among us that are scammer. Later in this video, I will explain to you how those few people you call few, actually matter, because they matter more than the 95% that are not scammers. I will explain that later in this video. For now, let me ask you a question. Do you really think people who discriminate against black people, people who discriminate against Nigerians, do you really think they are bad people? Do you think people like this woman are bad people? Well, I will disappoint you again by telling you they are not bad people. They are not even racist, as you would like to call them. So let me explain that. You see, for us to understand the reason why human beings discriminate, we have to understand the way human brain works. In his 2002 book, Stranger to Ourselves, American psychologist Timothy Whitson wrote that at every given moment, human brain process more than 11 million pieces of information. So think about that. Since you have started watching this video till now, your brain has processed probably 3 billion pieces of information. Okay, what can this tell us about the way we use our brain? Give me a moment. Let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine you are to manage a library that has 50 million books. How are you going to manage that library? I mean, the obvious thing you would do to manage a library that contains 50 million books is to categorize those books. So you will have sections for each of the books. For example, law book, accounting book, history book, biography. That is the only way you can run that library. What if I announce to you that people who stereotype, discriminate, or sometimes are racist, what their brain does is what you will have done if you are to manage a library of 50 million books. You are going to categorize books. You are going to because that is the only way to get through the library. Now, what human brain does is to categorize people. Not only people, we basically categorize everything. And I will give you an example. Think about snake. Imagine you wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning and you look at your left side and you see a snake that is as big as my hand. What are you going to do? Depending on who you are, most of us will run away. Most of us will kill that snake. Now listen to this. What if I tell you that what you have just done now to the snake is discriminatory? In fact, what you have done to snake right now in this example is stereotyping. And I will explain that. You see, according to Wikipedia, as at 2022, there are about 3,971 species of snake all across the world. But you guess what? Among these about 4,000 species of snake, it is only about 600 of them that are poisonous. Now, what that means is about 15% of snakes in the world are poisonous, but there is more to it. Out of these 600 that are poisonous, 400 species out of these 600 cannot kill human. They can only kill little animals, which means all over the world, we only have about 200 species of snake that can kill you. Now, if you calculate percentage of 200 against 4,000, that is like 5%. Which means out of the entire snakes all over the world, it is only 5% of species of snake that can kill you. But there is even more to it. You see, even this 5% that can kill you or me don't pursue human. You might have heard somebody tell you in the past that snake pursue them. It is a myth. Snake does not pursue human being. And the reason is very obvious. Snake see human as predators. So they are 10 times more fearful when they see us than how fearful we are when we see them. Okay? So the only time a snake actually attacks human is when you pursue him to an angle or you mistakenly step on it. So think about it. Waking up in the morning and you see a snake by the side of your bed. That snake poses no reasonable danger to you. But guess what? Your brain does not have capacity to understand that because your brain categorizes things, including animals. So your brain categorizes, for example, friendly animal, dangerous animal, domestic animal, weak animal. That is how your brain categorizes animals. So your brain does not have capacity to really think through things and say, oh, is this going to be a dangerous snake or is this going to be a friendly snake? It is the same way or the same reason why people stereotype. The question we might want to ask ourselves is, but why should people judge us? Why should people judge us based on what a few people do? I probably answer a part of that question. You see, I understand your frustration because it is the same frustration I have. Not just me. You know, about 40 years ago, Tupac said the same thing.
I want to be, only way I've been practicing my whole life to live my life is to be responsible for what I do. I don't know how to be responsible for what every black male did. I don't know.
But now let me try to answer your question, which is, why do people judge us based on what people like Hushpuppi do? Why does everybody else judge us based on what they do? So I want to show you something. See, if you have read this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, by Daniel Kahneman, you will understand a concept he called availability heuristic. See, availability heuristic is a mental bias or mental shortcut which all of us use. And the way it works is that we search our brain for information that is currently available, not necessarily the information that is true. Now, let me give you an example of how this works. Then I'll give you an example of how it affects Nigerians. So imagine you are driving from Lagos to Ibadan. I mean, that is one of the major highways in Nigeria. And suddenly, you are running on 100 kilometers per hour. You look at your left hand side and you see a terrible accident where somebody is dead. What is going to happen to you? Well, you will stop running at 120 kilometers per hour. Now you want to really run at 70 kilometers per hour. Why? Does that mean you do not know that people get involved in accidents before you left your home? No, you knew. Your brain is just biased towards that fact. And it is when you see it happening that something in you tells you, oh, really? People die on accidents. So I have to slow down. Now, back to how this affects all of us. You see, if you pay attention to what happened when Hushpuppi case happened, you will see that every media in the world was talking about it, right? I go to YouTube and you're going to see video that has generated 7 million views, 10 million views, probably 15 million views about Hushpuppi. I would not be surprised if, as we speak today, 2 billion people all over the world have watched any video or read a paper relating to Hushpuppi. You guess what? That is why you will suffer for what he did for the rest of your life. That is why I will suffer for what he did for the rest of my life. Because this news was big and massive, everybody in the world was able to read about it, listen to radio about it, watch a TV about it, watch video on the internet about it. Deep in their brain exaggerates the numbers of Nigerians or black people that are doing such evil. More so because a video of Nigerian who is doing good, who get a doctorate, who build a $1 million business will not get 1 million views on YouTube. So this is going to be the final section of this video, and I just want to recommend 3 things we can do as black people. And number 1 of that is what I have talked about. We have to understand that we can't keep on blaming people who stereotype, hate us, or who are racist. We can't continue blaming them. In my own opinion, most of the times these people are not bad people. They are not. What I have explained earlier is the reason why they did what they did. Their brain just hijacked them and manipulated them, which is what our brain does to all of us every day. Second thing I think we must do is to teach young Africans, black people or Nigerians that people who are truly wealthy don't go around showing their plane, their jet, their car, their house, their whatever. It is a sign of insecurity to want to show everything you have on social media. By the grace of God, I drive what I can consider a nice car, but I have never in my life posted the video of that car on social media because there is no point. I don't know the last time you see a video of Dangote and what he's telling you is, this is my car, this is what I eat, this is my plane. That. The third thing is we should redefine what we call success. You know, in black communities around the world, we should stop seeing success as what somebody can have, acquire. Instead, maybe we should redefine success as contribution and clap for people who contribute to the progress of humanity, because that is the only thing we can call success.